Hi, my name is Newell Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our urban worm bag that has the European Nightcrawlers in it. Now, it's been 29 days since our last update, which is a little bit longer than I was hoping to let it sit, but that's about the amount of time with how much food we're adding that's perfectly fine for the worms. There'll still be probably a little bit of food left over, some of those harder materials, some of the coffee grounds that are stuck in a bag, but the majority of softer materials will be gone, and hopefully a lot of the cardboard will be gone as well. Now with that, we are going to add another 6 pounds, 14 ounces of food this feeding. So we're going to add quite a bit of food, and in the last feeding we added probably, I think, around 6 pounds as well, which is also a large feeding, which is what I've been doing with my systems, all of my bag systems, except for my African Nightcrawler system. I've been adding a lot of food, and it's been doing really well with those big feedings of food. I think it kind of heats up a little bit, does a little bit of hot composting, and then it kind of cools down and the worms can go right into it and start working. So with that, let's take a look at this bag system, see how it's doing, and see how these European Nightcrawlers are doing. All right, here is our urban worm bag. Let's go ahead and open this up. And as you can see there, first off, we do have our little canister that's to catch any fruit flies in here. And overall, I am not seeing any fruit flies right now, which is a great sign upon initial inspection here. So let's just go ahead and move this out. Actually, let me grab my gloves real quick, if I can find where I left them, before I start reaching in here and grabbing stuff. And for those of you who are curious why I always wear gloves, it's just because my hands tend to dry out with this stuff, and then it gets under my fingernails and everything, so I'd rather just not deal with that. All right, so we see a lot of cardboard on top, and a little bit of moisture over this section. Not much that was on the cover here, but some moisture that's over here. This area is a little bit dry. And let's go ahead and first off, let's just zoom in just a little bit. Now let's go ahead and dig on this section right over here. Let's just take a look on this side to start with. You can see there's still quite a bit of cardboard, a lot more cardboard than I thought. But you can see the worms in here are working vigorously in this area. I think got some nice large worms in there. Look nice and healthy. Looks like they're doing a great job of going through all this material that's in here. Not seeing really any food in that area. Oh, here we go. Here's our first piece of food. It looks like this is a clementine. These take a little bit longer to break down since it's looks like it's not quite. It was probably one that was a whole clementine that had gone bad. But you can see in here tons of worms on this section right here. So they're starting to move up into that cardboard as the bottom part has all the food sort of disappeared. And you can see this cardboard's a little bit matted. But lots of worms in there. They're really working at it well. So I'm really happy to see that. You can see right over here especially. Look at all those worms right there. So they're really trying to find this material. That's the food. And it has been a little bit longer, but surprisingly they haven't really done as much as I thought. I thought that they would have gone through more of the cardboard. We do have our, this is corn on the cob. This takes forever to break down. Let me just see if I can get a little more light on that. There we go. So it takes forever to break this down, this corn on the cob. So I'm not surprised to see that. We'll see that in there for months, actually. Feels, very soft, though. You can break it open. Actually, there's a worm inside there. So they're doing a good job on this stuff. It just takes a while to break down. Let's go ahead and move this material back over. Let's check the other side. This side's a little dry. That side was very moist. It looks like it had a lot more of the moist material. Oh, wow. I see a lot of springtails in here, it looks like. Let's see, did we add anything in here that was like I see lots of white specks on here, which are a little bigger than normal, but I'm not seeing anything major that's making me concerned. It's just it's different. I see all these white, like right here. See the white dots on there? I don't know what those are. I mean, those are definitely not cocoons. I mean, it almost looks like it could be larvae, but they're not moving at all. So I'm wondering if that's some sort of springtail or eggs or something. I don't know. It's very strange. I've never seen that before. I don't know if it was something that I added. You can see maybe a little bit more so on top of there. You can see all the little white. You can see the springtails moving around, but then there's some other white stuff on there. I don't know what that is. If you know, please leave a comment down below. I see a lot of it in this section. As I said, it's not moving, So it's not like larvae for fruit flies or anything like that, I don't think. But it's not, I'm not sure what it is. So if you know, leave a comment down below, or if you think you know what it is. Actually, here we go. There's a whole lot of it on here, especially in this area right here. So there's a lot of it in this area. I don't know what that is, but I'm not worried about it, but it's just surprising to see. Got our bag of coffee grounds here that really didn't break down because they were closed off. Same thing over here. They did chew through the bag a little bit though. Let's just keep digging over here. You know what, did I add I'll have to go back in the video. I wonder if I added cornstarch or flour or something, which I was thinking about doing again in here. I mean, it's just breaking down slowly into the material here. Either way, as I said, I'm not worried about it. Just surprised to see it here. So, most of the food though, gone. Again, this looks like it's just cardboard. So, looks good over here. Got those couple bags of coffee grounds. We've got a couple more corn cobs. You know, not surprising stuff. There's a bag of coffee grounds right here too. Again, they broke it open, but weren't able to quite dig through it all. Let's just go ahead and load that back up over there. And let's go on this side. Oh, here's our first real, oh, never mind. It's coffee grounds again. And again, they had chewed through part of the bag. As you can see right there, that's the normal way I see these things in here when they're closed up. They kind of chew through part of them. But here's our piece of banana stem. I thought the coffee grounds there were the banana peel, but no, it's just the stem. Those do take a long time to break down. That's not surprising to see that either. This is a very hard material. Actually, there's a little bit of moisture in there too. When I squeeze it, I can feel the moisture and see it. So, not surprising that's taking a while to break down. Let's just go over here a little bit, see what else we find. A lot of moisture down here, surprisingly, on this side. This side was dry, this side was moist. But you can see nice healthy worms in there all through this system. You know, they're really working at this material. Again, most of the food looks like it's gone. We've got a couple open pieces in here. But yeah, the majority of it looks like it's been chewed through. They did a great job. Kind of going back around now to the other side. All right. I think we'll just go ahead and bury this stuff in there. They didn't take care of the cardboard. I kind of hoped that they would dig out a little bit, dig a little bit more at the cardboard. Actually, here's a huge thing of worms. Let's see if I can move that underneath a little bit. Just because we're going to be putting some cold stuff on top here. And I think what we're going to do actually is we're going to add a small layer of cardboard to this. I'm hoping that they'll work at it. We're going to add obviously cardboard to the top as well. But actually, you know what? I think we're going to grab some pine shavings. And add, I just had to run over here a second, but we're going to add some pine shavings to this system. So I got a big bag of it. I just need to grab a container. So I'm just going to grab this container right here. Grab some pine shavings. We're going to throw some pine, like a layer of pine shavings on top here, just to add a different texture in there. I like to have some different textures for the worms because I think that that's important for them. You know, just like anybody else, I wouldn't want to always eat the same stuff or have the same things. Now, granted, I love my house and everything, but hey, it's nice to have a change. Go on vacation, right? So we're going to do the same thing here for the worms. Just kind of give them a change of like the way things look in here a little bit. Just add in a little bit of this different material. It'll hopefully spill some of that on the floor, but that's okay. Vacuum it up later. But just to give them some texture and some different changes in here. I do believe in doing that with worms. Even with food, it's, you know, yes, they can get by eating the same stuff all the time, but it's good to add some variety. It also helps with the compost underneath. This is going to aerate it a little bit more, as this stuff is a little bit more firm than the cardboard. But now we're going to go ahead and add our food. And we've got almost 7 pounds of food here. So this is a big container. As I said, I think it was, 6 pounds, 14 ounces of food. So a couple ounces short of 7 pounds. But close to what we normally feed for these systems. So there's our first one here. Let's see if we can break this apart. All right, we got some oranges or clementines in here that are whole ones. These probably felt really soft, so nobody in my house would eat them. We've got some coffee grounds. Go ahead and break these open a little bit this time if we can. Oops. There we go. I think some of that fell on the ground, but that's okay. We've got some Brussels sprouts. We've got, of course, our banana peels. Lots of banana peels in this one. Tea grounds. Actually, let me zoom in just a little bit more. No reason to have all those edges on there. So we got more banana peels. We've got, this is lettuce right here. I tried to cut those up into smaller chunks for the bins. We got some apple. Another thing of coffee grounds right over here with some tea leaves on it. Rip that apart. So there we go. That's nice and open so the worms can get to it. Let's see, we can pull this apart a little bit more. More banana peels. Banana peels. Oh, we got some another thing of coffee grounds. We also got some cucumber in here. So just a huge variety of food, which is what we tend to eat in the house as well. We do go through some things more than others, but we do eat a variety of fruits and veggies. And we got some more banana peel, lettuce, and then, oh man, these coffee grounds, these are really stuck together. Got these tea leaves on top of it. Just trying to open this up a little bit. There we go. At least rip that open just a tiny bit. All right. There we go. All right, that's about the best I can do on these. But these are some coffee grounds. I think it's 3 bags of coffee grounds with some tea and looks like some lettuce in the mix there. Let's just see. Can I pull that apart? Nope. Nope, I can't pull that apart. All right. Next container. All right. There's a big chunk of that too. Again, this is a fairly large feeding, but we've got a good variety of foods in here. Look at this. We've got carrot, which breaks apart nicely in this type of environment. So this is pretty light, very, very fibrous material. Also a lot of sugars in carrots. So but the first thing is lots of carrots in here, lots of carrot peels, carrot ends. And we've got, looks like some grapes that went bad in our house. So we have some grapes in here. And I know some people, I don't think they throw in grapes. They do tend to ferment a little bit before kind of breaking down. But they do work, so here we go. Some coffee grounds, or more coffee grounds, with a little bit of Brussels sprouts on there. Just squeeze these up, break this apart. This is from the coffee maker that I have. Every once in a while I make a big pot of coffee instead of individual cups. By the way, I make individual cups, but I do not have a Keurig machine. I do not believe in Keurig machines. I really think that they produce a lot of waste. I'd much rather have a pour-over type cup of coffee. I've switched to tea recently, which is why I have tons of tea leaves in there, and I also do not have those in bags anymore. Typically, I buy loose leaf tea, and then I have a metal mesh system for straining it out instead of actually having it. Instead of having these tea bags every time, and especially with some of the ones that I've had that have been plastic, would really upset me. Since they really should all be fully compostable. But I think they've gotten better. I think the Twinings teas and things like that. But I have primarily switched to loose leaf tea now. All right, so there we go. This is a huge amount of food. Just trying to figure out the best way to move this around. I'm just trying to spread things out a little bit. I don't like having all the food right next to each other as far as like stuff that might take a little longer to break down. Kind of get it all mixed in there a little bit. I'll zoom you out a little bit more here. And now, last part of this is, or 2 parts I should say, because we still need to add the crushed crab and eggshell, which we definitely need with the with these citrus in here. So I refilled my container. Let's just pour a bunch of this in here, especially by our oranges or clementines. Some by the coffee grounds. There we go. By the way, when I do this, as always, I am wearing a mask. I have an N95 mask on to make sure that I'm not breathing this stuff in. This stuff is bad for you. And now, last part, we're going to go ahead and put on our cardboard. And this cardboard has been previously soaked. This is one of the few times this has happened too. It's actually been sitting for a day or 2 in the container because I was going to do this video earlier, but had other stuff going on. So this has been saturated and sitting for a while, about 48 hours, let's say, maybe a little longer. And there we go. We got that cardboard in here. We got to move it around, make sure we cover everything. Gives the worms plenty of places to go. And keeps things moist, that way they can keep working at this food. Hopefully they will work through the paper down below as well. although there was quite a bit of it. There were a lot of worms, but not as many as I expected. Or not as many as I thought I'd see more, I should say. I really thought that I'd see a huge expanse, and there was a lot, but I know this system can hold a lot more. So I think I've sort of slowed down. I don't know if it's weather related, as it is pretty chilly out, and it's probably cooler in my basement, or if it's just the fact that with the long wait in between checkups at one point, that some of them just did not make it. So hopefully we'll build this system back up, get it going again, get it really roaring along here. But that's my update for this week. Let me go ahead and put my little container for fruit flies, even though there was none in here. We'll go ahead and leave that in there just to make sure it stays that way. And actually, let me just lean that over a little bit that direction. I lean it towards the wall, so if it collapses, hopefully it won't fall in here and drain all into the system. So with that, we're going to close this back up. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, or if you can guess what that stuff was, let me know. I'm guessing. I will check my last week's video. I'm wondering if that's some of the cornstarch and flour or something like that I added. I can't remember if I added it to this system or another one off the top of my head, and I don't always watch my videos beforehand, so we'll see. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them down below.